2, 1, go!
Hello Nidorinas and Nidorinos, it's KingNido here and I'm welcoming you to Lumio City, where today the Lightning are hosting the Searchester Frost and they desperately need a victory over the Ice types here today, who are starting out with the Vanillux and Mamoswine, whereas Lumio's Lightning are starting out with Toxtricity in its low-key form and Electabuzz, as Vanillux with that Snow Warning ability is going to set up the Hail. So look for the electric types to take consistent damage as a Rock Throw is performed by Electabuzz, and it is super effective on Vanillux, so great start there, whereas a Poison Jab from Mamoswine onto Toxtricity is not very effective, and you know it will not get poisoned, whereas Vanillux is going to set up a Mist on the side, so its whole side will become shrouded in mist, but Toxtricity sets up a Psychic Terrain, and this could actually backfire for the Poison Electric type because it is weak to Psychic type moves. It does not want Psychic type moves to have that boost over it, and here's that Hail giving damage to Electabuzz and Toxtricity, as I mentioned. After that Snow Warning set up that Hail from Vanillux, but Electabuzz now continuing on its offensive, goes for the Lash Out onto Mamoswine. Not as good as the damage it did to Vanillux earlier, but Mamoswine going with the Soft Boil, so it is going to instantly restore itself back up to full strength, so Electabuzz having no effect really there, but Vanillux now going with the Giga Impact onto Electabuzz, and that is some massive damage there, but Electabuzz holds on and Toxtricity responds with the Fairy Lock, so it doesn't go for the offensive damage. Instead it just makes it so no one can run away during the next turn, but that Hail almost finishes Electabuzz off. It is holding on slightly here and goes for the Outrage, but Mamoswine avoids that attack and goes for the Baton Pass, so Mamoswine already taking itself back to the bench. And out in its place will be Cloyster, the Water Ice type now, as Vanillux has to recharge after that really impressive Giga Impact, but a Sweet Kiss now from Toxtricity onto Vanillux is going to leave it confused. Vanillux will need to shake that off, otherwise it will hurt itself in confusion. But there's that Hail finishing Electabuzz off now, so Electabuzz is the first Pokemon eliminated in this matchup. That's a terrible start for the Luminous Lightning, who have only won one game this season. They are sitting on the bottom of the ladder as Magnezone comes out now. And here's that confusion on Vanillux, and it is unable to shake it off, so Vanillux does do damage to itself, and Toxtricity is going to set up for a light screen on its team side. It will make them stronger against special type moves. And now Cloyster with the Octazooka onto the Steel Electric type. It is going to lower Magnezone's accuracy, which could greatly benefit the Searchester Frost as that Encore fails from Magnezone. And there's that Hail continuing to damage the electric types, which has been a great start for the Searchester Frost, as Vanillux snaps out of confusion and instantly goes for a parting shot, so it will go back to the bench just like Mamoswine did, and Mamoswine will actually come back in its place. So we already know the first three Pokemon of the Searchester Frost, and they are making consistent changes here as a stored power from Toxtricity onto Cloyster. Good hit there, and now Cloyster is going to respond with the Oblivion Wing, and with that move it does go for Toxtricity. So Cloyster is going to restore a little bit of health, even though it wasn't very effective there on the Poison Electric type. As I said, Cloyster does restore some of its health, and that Icicle Spear is avoided by Mamoswine from Magnezone. So that accuracy being lowered is very good, as that Mist and the Psychic Terrain and the Hail all leave the field all at once as Mamoswine sets up a Torment onto Toxtricity. So it will be subjected to that, and we will see it probably struggle on the battlefield as it goes for the Brutal Swing. This actually hits everybody on the field, including its own teammate. But we see another Baton Pass now from Cloyster, so now Cloyster's going back to the bench. These are some huge shifts back and forth, consistent changes. Vanillux sets up that Snow Warning again, so it's actually a really good play by the Searchester Frost doing these switches, getting Vanillux onto the bench and then back on, resetting up that Hail so electric types take more damage, as Vanillux does have its speed lowered there by Magnezone, and there's that Hail doing damage to Toxtricity and Magnezone again. Again, those constant shifts have been a good play as Mamoswine sets up the Safeguarder to prevent the Searchester Frost from getting any status conditions, as there's that struggle that was mentioned for Toxtricity attacking Vanillux. Toxtricity does hurt itself with the recoil as Magnezone sets up a Magic Room. This will nullify the effects of anyone's held items, and everybody is holding a Leopard Berry as a defense kill is performed by Vanillux, so it will get that defense boost here. Pretty early stages still of this matchup, but as that Hail continues to have a huge impact, I wonder if they'll do that same trick again and bring Vanillux back to the bench as Mamoswine goes for the block onto Toxtricity, who seems to be the target of a lot of moves, but it's still here as it goes for the head charge onto Mamoswine. Does some good damage there, but the recoil damage actually takes Toxtricity out of the matchup. So Toxtricity is now eliminated Magnezone with a Psy Strike. This is a fantastical looking move and does great damage as well there onto Mamoswine, as Vanilluxe with the Ice Shard onto Magnezone is not very effective. It gets an okay hit there, but it's followed up with more hail damage as that light screen finally wears off on the side of the Lightning, and we have Vikavolt now coming out, and a Flower Shield is performed. It does fail as Magnezone with the Flail onto Mamoswine, and now Mamoswine is taking out this matchup. First Pokemon eliminated from the Searchester Frost. The Frost still have the advantage, but a Storm Throw onto Vanilluxe by a Vikavolt. It is a huge play. 2 Pokemon eliminated in the same turn. That super effective critical hit takes out the Ice Cream Pokemon, which levels the playing field here. It is now a 4v4 match as that hail continues to fall over the battlefield onto Vikavolt and Magnezone as Cloyster comes back out, and it is joined by Avalugg, who we are seeing for the first time this season in a matchup. But Magnezone goes for the Hyper Beam, and an amazing hit there on Cloyster. Cloyster is eliminated after coming back onto the field, and Vikavolt follows it up with a Psybeam onto Avalugg. Great damage there. Avalugg, though, going with the baby doll eyes. Just like that, though, the Lumiose Lightning have put themselves in the front as Vikavolt does have its attack stat lowered, and the hail does stop over on the field, and we know that Vanilluxe will not be coming back out to set it up as Lapras now comes onto the field and immediately goes for the Spirit Shackle onto the Vikavolt, Bug Electric type, taking that damage as Magnezone has to recharge, and Vikavolt now with a Heat Crash. Looks like it's going for Lapras. It surely should have gone for Avalugg there, as Lapras has that water typing to prevent that super effective damage, but the Bone Rush now from Avalugg gets the critical hit onto Magnezone, and Magnezone is eliminated, leveling the playing field with that super effective move. It is now a 3 versus 3 battle as the Safeguard and the Magic Room both wear off at the same time, and now Jolteon is out on the field and immediately goes for a Grass Pledge going to Avalugg. A great hit there by Jolteon as Lapras responds with a beat up onto Vikavolt. It will connect 3 times because that is how many Pokemon do remain for the Searchester Frost. That is how the beat up works. If there were 6, it would have hit 6 times, but a Topsy-Turvy does fail from Vikavolt. And Avalugg now with an Aura Sphere responding to Jolteon, who still did that very impressive hit. Avalugg unfortunately does not do as good a damage as Jolteon now sets up a Meteor Beam. It is going to boost its special defense here and special attack here and connect with that on the next turn, but Lapras goes for the Psyshock, trying to prevent that from happening. Gets an okay hit, actually a pretty good hit on Jolteon there, but Vikavolt now with the Mist Ball going for Lapras. Lapras taking damage there as Avalugg with an Avalanche. It will get that same type attack bonus, but Vikavolt is able to hold on. So Vikavolt still in this matchup, but Jolteon with the Meteor Beam, and Lapras avoids the attack. Fantastic there by Lapras as Lapras with the Tar Shot onto Jolteon will lower Jolteon's speed as well as make it weaker to fire type moves. But Vikavolt now with the fake tears, instead of trying to keep up that offense, it is going to lower Lapras' special defense as Avalugg with the Supersonic. It is going to make contact with Jolteon, so Jolteon will be confused. It will need to shake it off, otherwise it will do damage to itself and potentially eliminate itself from this matchup. And the first time it goes to shake it off, it does hurt itself in its confusion, and Lapras now with the reversal following it up, and Jolteon is now eliminated. There is only 2 Pokemon remaining for the Lumiose Lightning as the Searchester Frost take the lead, but a close combat from Vikavolt immediately takes out Avalugg, so it is now a 2 versus 2 battle. This is a very back and forth match. Avalugg having a good showing in its first match this season is taken out, and Arctozolt comes out for the Lightning, and Walrein comes out for the Searchester Frost and immediately goes for an Aqua Jet onto Arctozolt, who actually could have been drafted to the Frost but was drafted to the Lightning first, and Lapras follows it up with a Thunder Shock. It won't be very effective there on the Electric type, and Arctozolt responds with a Draining Kiss going for Walrein, so it is going to try and restore some of its health. Doesn't get a great deal of damage done there, but any bit of health restored is fantastic for the Lumiose Lightning, as the substitute is unable to work for Vikavolt because it doesn't have enough health left. And Walrein with a Parting Shot. We see this move again in this matchup, but Walrein will stay on the field as it lowers Vikavolt's attack and special attack. Lapras now going for a Psy Strike. We are seeing moves repeated in this matchup. Going for Arctozolt there as Arctozolt flies up high into the sky. So the Searchester Frost do not want to target it now, but Vikavolt with the Weather Ball, and it goes for Walrein with that move. It does not do a great deal of damage. However, Walrein goes for the Fire Blast, but Arctozolt does avoid that attack, and it would have been super effective due to that Ice typing, but the Corrosive Gas from Lapras will burn up the Leper Berries of Vikavolt and Walrein on the field. We have 2 Water and Ice types on the side of the Frost, as that fly from Arctozolt does connect with Warren there, and Vikavolt goes for a parting shot of its own, so now Warren's attack and special attack will be lowered. These parting shots having huge plays in this matchup, but Warren sets up a Sandstorm. This is very questionable because this will hurt everybody on the field. Nobody will be immune to that Sandstorm that's been kicked up. And Lapras now with a Leaf Tornado onto Vikavolt, and Vikavolt is eliminated. That is the third elimination, I believe, for Lapras in this matchup. Lapras having a strong showing in the late stages of this matchup as the Acid Armor from Arctozolt does boost its defense, and here's that Sandstorm doing damage to everyone on the field, as I did mention before. So this could really hinder the Searchester Frost, but they do have that 2-1 advantage, and here's a Searing Shot from Warren. This is super effective on Arctozolt, but Arctozolt holds on. It does do damage to Lapras as well, but Lapras is going to follow it up with a Charge Beam. This won't be very effective, but it does not matter because Arctozolt is eliminated, and that losing streak of the Lumiose Lightning continues. That is 4 in a row now that they have lost, and the Searchester Frost get their second win in a row. That is fantastic for them. It actually moves them up into the Masters 8. They are sitting on that cut line in 8th position, and they're going to want to continue that winning momentum next round when they face the Cinnabar Flare. But the Lumiose Lightning need to get back to winning as they are still on the bottom of the ladder. Next round they will face the Verbank Venom, but in our next match it will be the Pewter Stones trying to get back up into the Masters 8, facing the Olivine Ore, who are trying to get back up into first place. But until then, Nidorinos, thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comments below who you thought was the best on field, and if you enjoyed what you saw here today, please leave a like, share, subscribe, but more importantly, always remember, you are awesome, and I will see you when you see me.